An honor today to sit down with one of my personal heroes, Dr. Joseph D'Souza, a tireless advocate for equality for India's lowest caste and a strong voice against the violence perpetrated on religious minorities in this populous nation of India. He currently serves as the moderating bishop of the Good Shepherd Churches of India. It's so great to see you again.
And I'm happy to be back again, Cheryl.
You know, it's been a number of years since I've seen you, but more than 10 years since I went to India to report on the rise of persecution against minorities, specifically Christians. And a lot has changed. It's actually gotten worse, hasn't it?
In the last few years, it's gone worse. At the, what I call the grassroots, at the local level, the so-called vigilantes who feel their government is in power, they've gone berserk and are targeting Dalits, they're targeting Muslims, they're targeting Christians and minority groups. And this last year has been very, very bad. We get reports from all over India of attacks. And just before I came on this trip, there was an open attack on a Catholic hospital in Ujjain in North India, where they just went in and beat up the nurses, ransacked, destroyed furniture, etc. And it looks like these groups who seem to be functioning with, doing their acts of violence with impunity, they don't want us to practice our faith and to do what we believe our Constitution and our citizen rights allows us to do.
This is written into your Constitution. India is one of the largest democracies in the world. And of course, the BJP that you mentioned that came to national power used to be over different states. Now it's in power, and they basically have this ideology that says if you aren't Hindu, you aren't Indian.
And they're one of their major arms that brings them to power. They define Indians by a very narrow definition, and basically saying all Indians are Hindus, which is really not true. India is the most diverse country in the world, and only Hindus cannot be patriotic Indians. All of us are patriotic Indians, and Christians have been in the country for 2,000 years. And we are as much Indian as anybody else. So this attempt to change the narrative of who is a true Indian, who is a patriotic Indian, who is a nationalist Indian, is causing havoc at the ground level.
You wrote a great opinion piece in the Washington Times on this issue, and one of the statements you made in there, which I wanted to ask you about, was that Indians in general, they want a tolerant society where no matter what your religion or your social status, that you are accepted. Where did you get that from, or how have you seen that?
All over the place. I mean, the normal Indian, most Indians do not want what they see as emerging now, an intolerant society that is targeting one group against another. The India that most Indians want is an India where different faiths and different religions can live in harmony and in peace with one another. We all want the right to believe and practice and propagate, but not break the law, not do forced conversions and fraudulent conversions, which they accuse us of. We don't want any Indians to be national. That's the India we want. And that's the India we have all been working around. If you drive this ultra-nationalist agenda, you are asking for trouble, because what are you going to do with hundreds of millions of Dalits, hundreds of millions of Muslims, a large Christian population? We all have to live together. And so, yes, I mean, this is what we aspire. And I think it is breaking many hearts in India to see what's going on. And it's not breaking just the hearts of the minorities, it's breaking the hearts of a lot of majority Hindu people who are progressive, who are thinking, and they're saying, hey, is this the India we want?
And you know, we're here to support you. I know we're seeing murders, we're seeing people beaten, economic oppression, rapes of women. So many horrific things are happening these days to minorities. We want to talk about, in just a moment, we're going to come back, we're going to talk about how much of this violence against minorities may stem from the fight to overturn 3,000 years of slavery. Stay with us.